past the fact that we're perfect strangers. He doesn't know me. I mean, for all this guy knows, I'm a psychopath with a trunk full of chainsaws.
It's time to get back to the Rob Dibble Show.
This is always fascinating. So before we even get to the Major League stuff, this is because people weren't paying attention. Yankees lose 3 minor league pitchers in Rule 5 draft. That means other teams were checking these guys out,
right,
scouting them, and waiting for them to be left unprotected off the 40-man roster. And once you're left off the 40-man roster, we can Rule 5 draft you and put you on our Major League roster for a year, and then we get to keep you. And I think it's as little as $50,000.
Oh, my goodness. I saw Molina in there, and I don't know how good he is. I just saw his last name's Molina. I'm like, all right, I'll take that guy for 50 grand.
Trust me. I mean, I don't think you're going to take awful players. I mean, most of these guys are good in minor leagues, but a lot of it is if you can get a guy that's already been given let's just say it's a $1 million bonus, not even a $5 million bonus. Someone else paid that. Now you're getting that. It's like getting a Bugatti for $50,000. And if I keep it, it's mine. It's $1 million car.
Right.
If I give it back, I only have to pay $25,000 back, and that's it. That's all I ventured on. That was 25 grand. So that's the way Rule 5 basically works. And to have 3, not just 1. So I remember this happened. Jim Bowden was the general manager of the Reds, and we lost Reggie Jefferson.
Okay.
Our first-round pick. First-round pick to the Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians then, because they felt so bad that they had basically done something to us, violated us, and the organization, they traded Tim Costo, one of their first-round picks, to us. And that just shows you the class of the Cleveland Guardians now, but back then the Indians. So you've got to protect your prospects, is the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, let's get into all the other news of the day. As Alex Verdugo fell out of favor last year, traded to the New York Yankees, could possibly be traded again if Juan Soto is now going to be your right fielder for the New York Yankees. I always thought Aaron Judge was your right fielder, by the way. Even when I heard this last night, I'm like, why did we trade for Alex Verdugo? Is he going to play left field, right field? Where's he going to play? And if you trade for Juan Soto, where's he going to play? So, right now, I guess Aaron Judge is your center fielder, which I love having a 6'7" guy lumbering out there in center field.
I think he plays really good.
I know you do, but you've never pitched in the major leagues and had a big, slow guy out there tracking balls down.
He's robbed some home runs. He's saved some games.
Because he's 6'7".
I know.
But how many balls have dropped in that should have been caught if you had like Brett Gardner out there or another guy that actually plays center field? So
he runs into the wall too and stubs his toe.
This is the thing I think about Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts was so versatile. The Red Sox let that guy get. That guy's playing second base for the Dodgers now. You wouldn't even let him play second base on the Red Sox. Think about that. I mean, this guy will do anything for you. So Alex Verdugo is now a Yankee until otherwise. But honestly, listen, if you don't want him, he at least goes somewhere where you feel like he does. And everything that Aaron Boone is saying in the front office, that they love this edginess about. I'd like to be saying, hey, I love his power. I love all the home runs he hit last year.
Love his batting average.
I love his batting average. I don't want to be talking about how edgy this guy is or what chains he wears or what kind of gold thing he has on his little oven mitt there. I want to know how good of a player Alex Verdugo is going to be in a Yankee uniform.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting world that we're in where Yankees trade Red Sox and just like not to think that there's a reason.
Listen, the Mets hired the Yankees bench coach as their manager.
Yeah.
A lot of Mets fans are still like going crazy over that. Why did we have to go to this team to get this guy? But again, good people sometimes are on other organizations. Like Rob Thompson was the bench coach for many, many years on the Yankees, and now he's an excellent manager for the Phillies.
But this, for me, is a nail in the coffin of the Mookie Betts deal to the Dodgers was one of the worst moves the Red Sox have ever made in their franchise history. I mean, you have nothing to show for it at this point, and the Dodgers continue to just stack and put trophies in the trophy case.
Listen, Mookie had one of his career years last year. I mean, if people forget because we don't see it's such a late game and stuff. This guy was kicking butt and taking names all last year. And he's such a force in the community. He's not just a baseball player, man. He is an ambassador out there in the community for you. And I'm not saying Verdugo's not, but what I am saying is this guy was already a proven product in Boston. You didn't want to come up with $50 million more, so you said, you know what, we'll just trade him. And it still sickens me because I loved Mookie. And he was a hell of a baseball player, and you just don't give up on guys like that. And then part of your trade was this cat. And, listen, and he's not going to replace Mookie, but at least you hope you get like 5 good years out of this guy, and then you're like, okay, well, if this guy wants a boatload of money, we could still do what we did to Mookie. We could trade him.
But the thing with this deal and the Rule 5, both the things you started with here on the hot stove, we're all talking about Yankees pitchers. That's what's getting lost in this mix, right. Is everything going to the Red Sox or pitching prospects. Yep. The rule,
something they need desperately.
The draft 5 guys they lose, the 2 are on top of the pile. Mitch Spencer, Matt Sauer, both of those right-handed pitchers. The other one a little bit down in the pile, but still the first round of the Rule 5 draft guys. That's a right-handed pitcher as well. We're talking 8 pitchers today that the Yankees have lost on their roster, and they gained a Verdugo.
That's a great point.
Something they needed, they always need, and they'll be fishing for more and making deals in what? We'll say June, July.
And even if you turn Verdugo in the Soto trade and he goes back to the Padres, it's still, Juan Soto, and they wanted 7 players for Juan Soto. So you're trading a lot of your future away, which is something that the Yankees had done for many, many years and not gotten a lot in return for that. Then they finally, this is probably 5-6 years ago, I'd have to go back and check the exact year, where they traded 5 top players and got 13 back. And that seemed to have been one of the better things that Brian Cashman has done in his tenure. But again, now you're going backward and you're making these. Here's the thing: you don't have to make rash decisions. Just because 2 years ago you won 99 games and last year you won 82 games doesn't mean you had a lot of things. Rendon just didn't pan out. Maybe this year he comes back, he wins you 17 games. Who knows? But you don't have to panic and make rash decisions based upon what's going on around you in talk radio or the fandom or any of that kind of stuff. You need to start looking downward and seeing if your minor league system is going to help you out. And if it is by trade, it's good to have that support there. But if you trade away your minor league system, what if you're in the pennant chase come July this year? You got really nowhere to dip down to. So then you're just going to have to pick people off of your major league roster. And maybe you're not going to want to give up a reliever or a starting pitcher, which it's so tough to come by right now. So when you're looking at like Severino or Germán and some of these guys that are going to be pitching elsewhere for the New York Yankees this year, that's a lot of things you got to factor into. How many active starters and active players off your 25-man roster are you going to lose, and how are you going to replace them? You can't always replace pitching with bats. It doesn't serve you well, especially in the postseason.
Baltimore Orioles trying to replace pitching with pitching. Felix Bautista is undergoing Tommy John surgery. He's likely not going to be
not available this year
at all for the Baltimore Orioles. So